Welcome to the Cabin Cruiser Boating Adventure. In this video I'm going to be looking at an issue for single-handed cabin cruiser operators that was raised by a viewer to the channel some time ago. During this third lockdown period in the UK, I take a lovely walk to a local lake to look at the wildlife, and I review another product that I use regularly on the boat. So let's get started. The issue that I want to address is that of a single-handed boater getting a cabin cruiser through a lock and looking at some of the methods that I have used. I was recently contacted by a subscriber who said that he was going to be buying a boat this coming year, but was a complete novice and would almost certainly need some help. So I thought I would include some simple operational advice in this video. When I bought the Swamp Duck 2 years ago, I was in the exact same position. I had zero experience. I even had to give a chap a bit of beer money to get the boat off the sails mooring to its new pontoon. One issue when using the lock is that you have to bear in mind that your GRP is probably going to be a lot shorter than the boat the lock was designed for. Your boat is lightweight and you could have entered a fairly deep, wide lock. As a single-handed boater with no help, once in the lock you're going to have to get off the boat in order to operate the lock. So you do need to land the boat next to the lock ladder. One of the most useful pieces of equipment that I made early on was a grab hook, which is kept on the deck and has enabled me to extend my reach to grab the lock ladder and bring the boat alongside where I can best exit the boat. I also installed rings on either side of the boat, which by passing the bow line through them, changes the bow line into a centre line, as this is so useful in locks as it enables me to bring my seated position on the deck close up to the lock ladder. It is much easier operating my boat on a nice day when the canopy is neatly folded at the back of the boat. But when you need the canopy up, it's more difficult to exit the boat, but I do it from the sides. Opening paddles carefully is an absolute must with a lightweight boat, otherwise it'll be all over the place. Once the lock is filled and you have closed the paddles and opened the front gates, you have the option to either get on the boat and drive it out, but on occasions I've simply walked it out. Going down in the lock I have found to be the more difficult one for my boat, as in order to get back onto it, once the lock has emptied, I have to make sure the boat is alongside the lock ladder, as I need to step back onto the deck, and I can't easily use the roof as you might on a narrowboat. So I tie a slip knot around the top rung of the ladder to keep the boat in place whilst I climb down the ladder to get back onto the boat. When I'm ready, I can release the boat and drive it out. So the way that this slip knot arrangement works is that once the boat has been lowered down in the lock, take the rope from the bollard at the side of the lock ladder, then pass it underneath the top rung of the lock ladder. This is just to keep the boat in place whilst you climb down. So I then take this rope and I pass it underneath, make a loop and push that one through, pull it tight, and that will make a slip knot. Now, in order to make sure it's 100% secure, I do that once more. So I've got loads of rope here, but that is sufficient to keep the boat in place whilst you climb down the lock ladder. I take the excess rope and I just drop it into the boat, so I'm completely hands free as I climb down the lock ladder. Once I'm in the boat, I can take the end of the rope and I can just pull it, and that knot will come undone, and then I can take the rope off the top rung and away we go. My second issue is a word of caution when sharing locks with other heavier types of craft. I would only do that if the other boat goes in first and secures themselves with a line to keep their boat from drifting. I know some people can get a bit upset with this, and there are water conservation issues, but safety and the safety of your boat comes first. GLPs are much more vulnerable than steel boats, and far more water could be wasted if things did go wrong. In 1910, William Curzon, who was part of the Curzon family, whose roots date back to 1066, set aside 30 acres of land that was formerly part of his villa. This has now long vanished. The first 12 acres were opened to the public in August 1913, this area being landscaped by William Barron and Son of Borrowash. They had laid out the park at Elveston Castle for Lord Harrington in 1830. Elveston Park is a picturesque riverside park covering 85 acres and situated in the south of Derby, about 2 miles from the city centre. During the Second World War, the park was used as a prisoner of war camp, part of which was for Germans and the other for Italians. The Italians worked in the fields of local farmers, and the Germans worked at the ordnance depot on Sinfin Lane. This lake was opened in September 1923. On and around the lake today, we shall see Canadian geese, coots, mute swans,
mallards, gulls, and carrion crows, and I did spot one pair of moorhens. The product that I want to review in this video is an Uco chandelier. It consists of 3 spring-loaded candles that are contained in an aluminium container, and as well as giving a lovely warm glow, I'm also able to use them to heat hot water. I've got 2 of them on the boat, and I do find them very useful. So long as you have plenty of ventilation, it does produce a dry heat, and when they're burning they produce 240 watts of heat. So 2 heaters and you've got the equivalent of half of a fan heater. The replacement candles are usually sold in packs of 3, and they retail at around about $6.99, and the candles last for 9 hours each. The Uco chandeliers usually retail at around about £40, and you can pick them up on eBay and Amazon and other places.
So I hope you enjoyed that video. Please press the subscription button, which is on the right hand side of the screen on your mobile phone or tablet, which is displayed throughout my videos. Please press the bell icon on the channel homepage and you will be notified by YouTube each time I release a new video. Please feel free to share any of my videos and give a thumbs up and make any comments below, as I do enjoy reading them and will respond to each and every one of them. So thanks for watching and do take care.